Stevie, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, mate.
I saw a quote on one of your many platforms, and I want to read it out to you.
Go on then.
Safety and belonging put us in that place of innate well-being and performance. They don't have to be separate. Tell me about that quote.
Probably up at 4 a.m. writing that, mate. Madly writing that down.
One of your middle of the night thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Ultimately, that is well-being, isn't it? Feeling like you belong and feeling like you're safe. I think we've got all possibilities of feeling out of control and feeling like things aren't going well. And we can't really eradicate that. But we can feel like that's okay in and around the people that we're working with, that we, very much felt like that today coming in here, and felt accepted for who you are, I think that is well-being. I think we have this place that we can click into, which is ushered by safety. It's ushered in by understanding what's going on, what meaning we can make of this place, the connections that we have with people, the level of connection, and the choice that we have in who we are, what we do, and why we're doing it. I think when that's allowed to flourish, I think you are well. Yeah.
When you were playing for the Leeds Rhinos, what role does well-being have when you're the captain of the Leeds Rhinos performing in front of anywhere between 20,000 people and 60,000, 80,000 people in a grand final? What does well-being look like then? Does it exist at that level?
That's a good question. I think in moments it does. In moments of connection. Whether that's connection with your teammates who you actually deeply trust, and when you trust yourself, I think really, I think especially in the last few years, I think in the moments on the field, in the moments of injury and adversity, like the moments I felt well, I guess we have to consider what well-being is and what that means for everyone, but the moments that I felt okay and able were when I trusted myself and when I was okay with uncertainty,
How often did you trust yourself during your career?
How often?
Does that come with time, experience, age? Or is it the other way around?
It might be the other way around, mate, yeah. It might be the other way around. I think there were many times, mate, that there was the foreshadowing of worry and trepidation and fear, and eventually getting into a place where it's all or nothing, and coming into this space where I would let something else take over that I had no idea about and couldn't quite put my finger on, and I go and play a game and I'm like, where the hell did that come from? What happened there? Because that thing I've never done it in training, no one's ever told me to do it, and I just didn't even think about doing it.
So give us an example of that. So almost like an out-of-body experience when you're in the game.
Yeah, it was like, I remember in 2015, I was playing such a good game plan, mate. And this is why I call my talks the authenticity game plan, because I feel like we had somewhat of a platform foundation to get us to a place where that stuff would come out and we wouldn't be relying so much on the thoughts that we'd made either 10 days before, 10 weeks before, or whatever. We were literally attuned to whatever had to happen in that moment. And I remember we had, just to give you, I guess, yourself, a rugby fan, and other people, we'd have a strategy or a term or understanding of playing either pink, which is like playing far back from the line, so you're passing, you're moving, and you're passing the ball away from the defensive line, or we'd play blue, which is close up to the line, right at the line, or in fact we play green, which is in the line. It's like you're in the teeth of it, and we have no idea what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. We'd have to do something that the team that we're playing doesn't expect, but also that we don't expect.
So just pause there for I
don't know where I'm going. I can't remember the question now. I was like,
no, This is good. I'm fascinated by this as a massive sports fan.
Yeah,
I've never played anywhere near the level you did. So in game, someone is making a call of whether you're pink, blue, or green, and you're changing it up.
Could be, yeah, it could be. You'd have a forward telling halfback, "Give me it pink," or halfback, "We're going blue," or there'd be an understanding of, "We're going green here, so you best be next to me, or you best be ready for this offload." Think about Adam Cuthbertson, who's just a mercurial offloader. There'd be clips of us in video review where Cuthbo would be away at Salford, 20 metres out from our own line. He'd take the ball and turn round with his big barrel body, his big long arm, and put the ball out, and it'd go to floor, and it'd be a knock-on. They'd jump on it, and we'd have to defend. And at some point, some coach might say, "Cuthbo, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Look at what you've done."
Doesn't follow any plan.
What are you doing? We need to get to the other side of the field. We need to be safe. We need to all the rest of it.
Play the percentages.
Yeah, exactly. Play the percentages, which is probably something that you're very used to seeing in the business world. But I remember Brian Mack stopping here saying, "What are you all doing?" To all of us. We're knackered. We just defended probably 3 sets. Yeah. Cuthbo, the magician he was, he goes to the line, he gets an arm free, and realistically, that's a try. Rob Burrow wasn't at that point ready to go and capitalise off it. And the ball goes to ground, and we're thinking, "Fucking hell, Cuthbo, what have you done?" And it's like, well, actually, our team, our game plan was built in and around that type of play, playing green.
Is green risk? So was that play a high risk?
The way that I see it, man, the way that I've put it together in my mind is, and I use this metaphor for life, like, the sort of the running towards that defensive line, right? Which is, I mean, some people it's outright terrifying. Like, no one,
That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Like someone throws you the ball, and you've got to run at that line.
You've got to run to the line.
They're absolute giants.
It's terrifying, and there's this feeling of catching the ball, and this knowing that you are going towards this line, and there's that trepidation, and there's also this moment where you just lose control. If you're playing well, you will not be thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, because you're in flow.
You're in flow, yeah. So I remember this time, many moments, mate, running to that line, feeling the fear, feeling trepidation, going towards the line, but all of a sudden opening up and shifting my body to the right, opening my body and my frame up to the skies, and like venturing towards the right, and all of a sudden, before time ran out, I'd stamp my right foot down and cut into the line,
Yes.
And this moment in the line is where you feel these fingernails scragging at your neck, maybe a cop in the shoulder, arms trailing at your waist, and you're in the line, you're in the green zone.
Yeah.
You're in this moment where you've no idea, you might get sat on your ass, you might get a brain injury, you might break your leg, you might get embarrassed, you might get humiliated in front of all these people. But you're in it. You're
very poetic about it. I feel like you're almost in the jaws of hell at this point.
I am, yeah. I am. But
I'm on the edge here.
It's the truth. It's the truth, mate. Yeah. And that's what that's all. I'm like, that is the only thing that I can rest upon. Truth.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I know, that with all the chaos and uncertainty, if I just say what I feel and how and and stick to the truth, then I'm doing all right, you know?
I watched a YouTube clip yesterday of your highlights
Yeah.
that someone's put together.
Yeah.
To some great music. I can't remember what it was, but it was, very inspirational. By the end, you stood up.
Was it Linkin Park?
It might have been. Which song would that have been?
It's Lost in the Echo. There's one with Lost in the Echo on. I'm like,
yeah, exactly. Beating your chest.
Yeah, mate, 100%.
But I can envisage what you're talking about, having seen you over the years, obviously playing for the Rhinos, but this short clip on YouTube was sort of line break after line break after line break of you stamping down hard on your right or your left.
Yeah.
Like you say,
Yeah.
Everything grabbing at you as you hit that green zone.
Yeah.
And you're bursting through.
Yeah.
But you very much look in flow.
Yeah. Oh.
Without thought.
Just. Yeah. I mean, in a weird way, it's like bliss. It was bliss, that. Do you know what I mean? It was
when
like.
you hit that moment.
Yeah. Just. And there was nothing. There was no other. There's no other thought of who I should be, what I should be doing, what game plan I'm playing. It was a give me the fucking ball.
I've got the ball and I'm
give me
running.
the ball. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I say that to young players now when I speak to them. I'm like, do you remember that feeling where you was 12 and you said, give me the ball. Just give me the ball now.
That's what you remind me of. Almost like there's a 8, 10, 12-year-old inside.
Yeah.
It was like, just pass me
just
that ball.
Give me it.
I'm going to blast through that line.
Yeah, just give me it. I know what to do, but I don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's that type of thing. And I didn't get to do it enough, mate. When in the first team, I didn't get enough to do it. Because,
really? Is that how you felt?
Yeah, I don't think I did. I was playing with all these gladiators that I'd grown up watching, and there's a selection of people that you'd give the ball to, and sometimes I was like, fucking, do I get the ball? Do I get the ball? Should I? And I'm making tackles, and I felt like there was too many moments that I didn't just fucking get the ball sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Almost as if you're chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
To get that ball in your hands and be free.
There's this part in me that's just like, get the ball, be free. Yeah, go do it. But there's this part of me that's like, conserve energy,
Yeah. Play the percentages.
Don't try and break the line again.
Hold the right position.
And eventually I had players saying to me, you don't need to break the line every time you get the ball. I fucking do. What do you mean? Yeah. What do you mean I don't need to break? What is this game then?
Where the hell is the green zone?
Yeah.
I want to live there.
And I just couldn't. I couldn't learn that. I just gave everything. I couldn't not give everything. I think I made a contract to myself when I was young that how bad it felt when I missed a tackle. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Really? So when you were young, coming up through the ranks, played for Hunslet.
Yeah, I played for Cherwell Chiefs with my Morley Rugby Union.
Right.
When I was really young. Cherwell Chiefs, it was called, which was like most of the amazing memories that I had and connection. And we used to have this chant. You have a chant before the game. It's sometimes 1, 2, 3 Raiders or 1, 2, 3 Warriors or whatever.
But you've all got your hands in. And
you remember. You're at school.
Yeah.
And you stop doing it when you're old because we're too old for that. Even though we're off to play a rugby game, calling ourselves Leeds Rhinos and freaking whatever. So we're too old to do that. We're too old to do the team chant after the song, and it's the team song after the game. It's like, who do you think? What do you mean?
You know what? It's funny you should say that because, on a deeper level, just going back to what you were saying, you're right. What, we're too old to connect?
Yeah. What, we're too old? Are we past that now? Are we past connecting? Is it all because it's all strategy and everything that we thought that it's meant to be? Actually, are we past it? I used to lead the team chant, mate, for Cherwell Chiefs. I got handed down this rite of passage from my head coach, Tim Evans, and the chant used to be me to scream the question 3 times, who are we? Not like the Chinese mobile telephone company, I mean. Who are we, And the full team replied, Cherwell. And I go, who are we? Full team, Cherwell. And I'm like, next thing, we cross the white line and it's on. We're playing.
Yeah.
How can you not give everything after doing that?
The electricity is flowing.
Yeah. How can you not, give everything? And, mate, I remember you talking about Rhinos, and just this coming off the well-being and the belonging thing, and you are going to feel depressed and anxious if you are going to work with someone you don't know, you don't really know, someone who you don't know if they sort of respect you, someone who doesn't want you to be you. You're going to feel anxious and you're going to feel depressed. And I remember in 2019 we had a coach come in from Australia. He used to play for Leeds, and he came in and it was off the back of Brian Matt leaving. So we'd had that 8 years success period. It was hard, it was brutal, it was everything, it was awful, it was brilliant, it was all the stuff, under the sun.
Highs and lows.
The highs and the lows. And we'd built all these experiences and we were like this brotherhood, and eventually, he goes, players are leaving or getting, I don't know, chopped or sacked or just let go or whatever, moved on. And then players are coming in and there's like this turbulence, and you talk about organisational change. There's like, I think at one point there was only like 4 players who had won the grand final in 2017. In 2019 that were still at the club, so there'd been loads of change.
Yeah.
And this, coach comes in, and an amazing technician, amazing attacking coach, and he comes in and he gives us a game plan, and there's a few bullet points on the game plan. I can't remember it. I don't know. I can't remember what the game plan was. There's a few offense ones and a few defense ones for like our guiding principles, and also it was like. There's a bit of a chat for like the Leeds Rhinos DNA, like this is what the Leeds Rhinos DNA is. You've got people in the room who've just flown in from Tonga. You've got Papua New Guineans.
Yeah.
You've got people from Wigan and Warrington. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you start chatting about the Leeds Rhinos
DNA.
You're like, wait, what's Leeds?
And
yeah.
And it's like, well, I know I'm Leeds. I know deeply that I'm Leeds. Whatever the fuck that means, I am Leeds. Do you know what I mean? And more Leeds than a lot of people. And I'm sat there and I'm like, it isn't working. It isn't working. We'd lost 8-9 on the bounce, and we'd gone from playing this way of what I feel was promoting authenticity. And I remember that the coach ended up leaving, and we had a new coach come in, and I don't know if you remember the Bradford game, the Challenge Cup game, away. It was in the Challenge Cup, and we'd lost, and it was like meant to be a game where, right?
Yeah.
It's a not a revolution. What would you say? Like a uprising. We're going to be amazing, and it was just flat as a fart. Oddsall. Yeah. And I remember, sort of being in the review after the video review the next day. We got called in the next day, and we're looking at knock-ons and we're looking at missed tackles, and I'm just sat there all throughout it, just like thinking, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, what are we doing? Looking at, we can catch a ball, we can tackle. Do you know what I mean? It's not that. And this is when I go back to when I go in my talks, and it's like, you fucking needed someone to stand up and go, who are we? Do you know what I mean? In a way, like I was just thinking,
get back to those Chilwell days.
Yeah, we'll just get back to like
freedom.
It's not Leeds of whatever of the last 5, 10, 15 years. It's not Chilwell. It's us. Like, you've got a different idea of how it looks. I've got a different idea of how it looks. You don't dare say how you feel, and I don't fucking dare. And you're playing a guessing game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, what we're doing, and we'd gone through like, this. It was. I'd said that to the coach. He'd asked me what I felt like. We need to sort of know who we are here. That's ultimately what we need.
Go a little bit deeper than knock-ons.
Go a bit deeper, and so I took the team through, with the help of Jamie Jones Buchanan, through some meetings, mate. And I've never looked for what's the process to take an organisation through or a team through. I was just like, I know my own values. I knew my own values, and I knew that when I strayed from them, I'd feel terrible. And it's like what we're doing as a team. And I was like, let's talk about it. Let's understand who we are. I did personality tests for everyone. Everyone sat in their own personalities. We threw stuff up. Said how we really felt. Said why we were playing in this way, which didn't work for us. You know, what's come into it, and for why they're feeling like this is the right thing. And it's all protection. It's not. No one's being a bad person.
No, it's not deliberate.
Yeah, everyone's just like, and we ended up. I hardly even played, mate. I had the brain injury in 2020, but we went to win the Challenge Cup that year, and with all the uncertainty and all the possibility of loss and injury, you know, the one thing that you can find if you are scared to or brave enough to is connection with people, and that freedom in uncertainty, that self-trust that we were talking about before.
Yes, off air before we started, we talked about the concept of fear, and you just referenced it a little bit there. It sounds like that team at that point, like you say, it's the right way to approach it, isn't it? That team before, those 8 years before, those championship, those cups, those characters in the dressing room, it's all gone. Great, it's in the history books,
yeah.
it's in the trophies are in the cabinet, but that's not where we're sat here today in this room.
Yeah.
So where are we going to go from here? Start where you are.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that team, there's fear there, isn't there? Like you say, fear of speaking out, of understanding, of being vulnerable, of sharing how you feel, sharing your misunderstandings.
Yeah.
You know, anyone even saying, I don't really get what we're doing.
Yeah.
How I connect with you, or
how just on that, I don't really get what we're doing. Like, that cuts through that, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Massively.
I don't. What are we doing here?
I had a thought the other day about when you're around a boardroom table and you're talking about the business and strategies and the different responses you get from people around the boardroom table. And two examples. Person A says, I know, but they actually don't. Yeah. It's an ego thing. I know what we're doing. This is what we should do. And contrasted with person B who says, I don't know, but let's work it out.
Fucking hell.
And I was thinking, person B really is who you want.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want person A with the front that they know.
No, you don't.
To waste everyone's time to actually find out they don't know in the end. It's all the front. And, you know, and fair play, I'm not criticising that person per se. It's just almost an ego approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas person B says, honestly, I don't know, but I'm willing to try.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that feels good.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Start from where we are and let's just be honest.
I don't know. Well, I mean, strategy, mate, like, how much do you know in the end? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't know everything. You
Absolutely
can't know
not.
every twist and turn that's going to happen. And you only have the headlines of what's actually happening. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Who are we to decide or what the universe is going to do next?
No.
Zero, are we? We're not. It's not even a thing. Like you have some hunch as to what might happen.
Yeah.
At best.
I sat in Gran Canaria after playing Boxing Day, winning man at match, after I'd been named captain 2020 for that season, and I sat there and sat with Natalie, my missus, and we were like, it's going to be a good year, this, you know, we're gonna I'm captain now, and I've worked this hard, and it's been something I've always dreamed of, and I feel like I've got a good understanding of where the team is. I'm growing, all this. And then I come back, mate, and it takes, bloody hell, a month and a half to get a brain injury. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not laughing, I'm only laughing because you laughed.
But it's funny. It's like, in a way, it's
That's
like...
the only way to approach it.
How do I quantify that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it completely turned my life upside down.
Yeah.
So I've, we have a plan, or we have a flipping we have an idea of how we want it to go, and so it's only here now. Do you know what I mean?
I totally understand. I don't know if paradox is the right word, because I'm probably not clever enough to actually apply it properly, but we were talking off air before about, we've gone through a journey with our business where, when you're trying so hard to achieve a certain result. So say you set targets each month, you really want to hit those targets, and you've got a certain size of team with salaries and overheads, and you have to hit those targets. So, when you're chatting to or speaking to prospects, people who could become clients, there's an air of desperation.
Yeah,
because your target's there.
Yeah.
You really want to sign it on. You really want to bring that number in because you've got the targets, you've got the overheads, and you almost strangle it a little bit. It's a bad reference, but you know what I mean? You sort of strangle the opportunity a little bit. Whereas, and it takes time to get there, but more recently, we've got into a place as a business where actually it's more, you know what? We've been around 20 years. We've worked really hard as a team. We've built a reputation. We're good at what we do. We make mistakes, obviously. We try our best. The intention is pure. And if you want to work with us, great. We're all up for it. If you don't, that's also okay.
Yeah.
And what's happened as a result of that approach over the last, say, 4 or 5 months is our commercial performance has gone through the roof. Which in some ways doesn't make sense. It feels like it's the wrong way around. But it's almost like you let go of trying to control everything.
Yeah.
And the world sort of manifests for you without sounding too woo-woo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, mate, 100%. I mean, it's the same as me going onto the field and thinking, I just think, am I going to be able to make a tackle today? Do you know what I mean?
Did you actually think
I used to think,
am I
going to be able to tackle him? Am I going to be able to play the full game? I used to play 80 minutes sometimes, and I'm like...
So this is when you're in the changing room, pulling your socks up, getting ready, or stood in the tunnel. You're thinking...
Should I stretch more? Have I stretched too much? Is he on today? I used to sort of... I think it's from being young. My upbringing and all the rest of it, being young and growing up in a team and, carrying this monitoring thing, vigilance thing of trying to make things the best it could be and as okay as they could be, And I'd take on the teams. I'd be like, he's not on. I can feel this here. When you're in Catalan's away and you've flown the morning of the game and it's 6 p.m. game and finally everyone feels jet lagged and you're about to kick off and you're going, oh my God, where are we at here? Is he on here? Is he awake? Do you know what I mean? And it's not like a I don't want to do it. It's like it's a lot. It's a lot of this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From what I felt anyway. So yeah, 100%. 100% there's that measuring and controlling and trying to figure out. But as we've just said here, I had no idea. I used to go and sometimes do previews for Sky Sports News, and that we're looking at players and we're looking at Tommy Makinson putting a ball down in the corner and he's done a front flip and back flip and all the rest of it. And there's someone saying practices that every day. He gets the crash mat out and he practices that an hour a day or whatever. And I'm like, he might have a practice and stuff like that. But when I went on the field and did some things, as I'm probably talking about 2015, I worked hard, and there was moments where I've squeezed myself into some position what's ended up coming out. But I've never forecasted it. I've never routinely practiced it. No. It's just happened.
He's coming from a place of almost creativity. Freedom.
Because that's what for any this joy of being human, I imagine. I don't know if we'll ever be able to put a finger on it, but we all know what it feels like to just feel fully there and like fully able. Do you know what I mean? Without pressing it too much, without pushing yourself into it, without squeezing yourself into it too much. And I chat with a good lad, Aaron Hill, and he used to be in the SAS, and he's a top lad. I'll connect you with him actually. But we talk about fear, and we talk about shame, and we talk about all these feelings of, it's like this big flipping duvet that almost like suffocates you and stops you. It's like I feel paralyzed sometimes, and it's like almost it's a protection thing. It's like you don't know what's happening, you don't know what's going to happen, and it's almost like it's stopping you doing what you feel is the right thing, you know.
Yeah. But it's quite. I feel like it's quite a leap of faith, of trust in something. I'm not exactly sure what, but some trust in some bigger power and faith that, okay, I'm not going to pre-plan everything and every detail. I've put the work in, like you say, of course. You have to have a platform to start with. I've put the work in. I've grafted all year, grafted all week, whatever it may be. I know I'm half decent.
Yeah.
If you.
Yeah.
I know I'm half decent. Got the talent. Like you rightly said before a couple of moments ago, knock on offloads. I know what those are. I've done them 2,000 times or however long in my career. But I'm now going to have faith when I go across the line that the rest will take care of itself. But it's not easy to do that, is it?
No, it's not. That's
because
the game.
You have to sort of let yourself out there, like, without trying to control it.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we, you know, like you talk about psychological safety. I do a lot of stuff. A lot of it is around context, you know, like what's the context here? What's going on? Who's this person? Why am I here? Why are they here? And like, where do you want to sit? You know, we all have that choice every day. Where do we want to sit? Where do we feel most comfortable? We're looking for certainty and like comfort.
Yeah.
So, fucking hell. Walking across a white line at Wembley Stadium, fucking hell, do your best. Do you know what I mean? Do your best, because the only thing that you can do is maybe drop into that comfort to say, I've done this a lot, and the game doesn't change, and I'm here, and it's all to be had, you know.
As human beings, though, we care about what other people think, don't we?
Oh, no, that's fucking tiring, man.
It is, isn't it? It really is.
It's tiring. It's tiring. Fucking hell. We all just think about ourselves.
And actually, no one else really gives a toss either.
No,
but anyway, in our heads, they do.
Yeah.
But we really care what other people think. So you're a professional rugby league player, captain of one of the biggest clubs in the country, and there's 80,000 people in crowd. So you walk over the whitewash. Okay, we're aiming to be free.
Yeah.
Not be scared. Have faith that we're half decent. We'll have a good game. Yeah. But there's 80,000 people in the crowd. And your family and friends and the rest of it. And we do care what they think. How do you release that? Did you ever get to a point of being able to crack that code and think, you know, how do you release the...
I think like... anywhere near I've got to it is through like acceptance. Like, you know, I mean, you're always fending off this uphill battle against the mystery of what's about to happen and what could happen, you know, and fending it off. And unless you accept it and speak about it, like, it's going to be there still. Do you know what I mean? And I remember, mate, when 2017, when I flipping dislocated my shoulder. It was a recurring theme in my career to do my shoulder, but...
It looks... Just, by the way, those injuries, dislocating your shoulder looks...
Yeah,
never done it, but it looks
It's dreadful,
painful.
mate, yeah. The pain.
You know when they try and put it back in as well?
Yeah. Oh, mate.
That looks horrendous. Is it as bad as it looks?
Yeah. It's awful. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And I remember coming off the field and just thinking, fucking hell, can't win here. That's what I can't win. I can't win. And I was like, you know, why have I missed this big game again? Like, you know, you're always pushing yourself for, and I'm just happy with playing the semi-final or winning a grand final when I was 18. Or I was like, why can I not make this fucking final here? And I came off the field and I sit on the physio table, and I remember the doctor was like 80 years old and he's trying to put my shoulder back in, and I'm like, that's not going in, fella. You know what I mean? It's like it's not going in. It's just hurting me like mad. We walked to the ambulance. All the crowd's coming out, all FC coming out, and seeing me walking through the crowd and flipping, shouting all sorts at me.
Like what?
Just I can't even remember. It was, I think I've blocked it out. It was like just like taking mick.
Yeah.
He's injured. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You're not playing next week.
Sick
You know,
note.
stuff like sick note.
Yeah.
I get in the ambulance, go to A&E, and they knocked me out, mate, with that propofol that Michael Jackson ended up dying on. And so it's like they sort of, you lose consciousness a bit, but you're not asleep. But they tried to put it in 3 times, and I kept coming back round in absolute agony because it went back in. And I was just there, just laying there like, this is not right, this is not right. And eventually the doctor comes up and says, look, you're going to have to go into A&E tomorrow, into theatre tomorrow, and we'll put your shoulder back in. So that meant a full night just being up in agony and my shoulder out.
Yeah.
And I go into theatre, come back out, and I have my shoulder in a sling, and I'm going home, and I hardly even like looking at my phone. But I'd been on the phone to, I remember Brian Mack and Gary Everington. I think I was off my head and on morphine as well at that point as well. And I'm just saying, fucking, this is hard. This is difficult. I can't keep doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's just so hard. Anyway, we're going to the next week, and I'd been at home moping around most of the weekend. I remember my auntie had come over. I see him like 3 or 4 times a year or whatever. They brought like pork pies and sausage rolls around. It was like a wake. Do you know what I mean? It was like a cheap version of a wake, as if someone had died. Yeah. And I was like, I feel like that. I feel like someone has died. Yeah. Anyway, I get to this point and I start looking at my phone and texting and connecting with my teammates again. And I remember Brad Singleton texting me, you know, you've always had sore shoulders, haven't you? You know, I'm like, yeah, fucking bit of black humour, that'll do. And then Mitch Garber, I remember him texting me, and I needed to tell him this actually. He texted me saying, "Hi mate, if you get out there on Saturday, we'll make your tackles for you." So I'm like, "Well, where were you all year? You
bit late now.
Yeah, a bit late, mate. Yeah." And then Cuffbo, just a wonderful man, wonderful man. He texts me a quote, and he says it's Basquiat, that artist. I don't know. Cuffbo's is an artist on the field, an artist with the paintbrush. And he texts me a quote, and the quote said, "When lying dead, naked on the ground, stripped of his valuable armour, now's the time." And I read it, and I'm like, we're talking about what helps you. So one for me was full connection, but one, full acceptance of where I was. Full acceptance of this moment in time, of being in pain, just being injured, just having the grand final ripped away from me. An acceptance of everything that could happen in that week. Acceptance of me making a decision. Acceptance of someone saying it's not the right thing to play. Acceptance of going and playing and you know, you say there's nothing to lose, and you say it's like a resilience that is like open. Do you know what I mean? Think about resilience that is like, I have resilience that is closed and stressed and flipping durable and grindy.
Yeah.
You know, which we need. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm not saying this is. What I'm saying is, there's almost an acceptance of
what is,
of what could be. You know.
Give me that quote again.
When lying dead, naked, on the ground, stripped of his valuable armour, now's the time.
Wow.
Good, that, innit?
I feel like I need an afternoon to absorb that.
I know, mate. I know. And, mate, my armour, oh, my God. Obviously, we all have it, don't we?
Well, I was just about to say, yeah. How big and thick is it?
Yeah, I know.
The armour, it's, yeah.
But how cool, like, how cool to even, like, reflect on that, and for my mate to text me that. And we've got such a good relationship, mate, me and Cuffbo, and
so timely, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So timely.
And I just, you know, I had this feeling, mate, when I came up when I was young, and it's a tough environment, mate, rugby league. Never mind speaking about your feelings and emotions, do you know what I mean? But I just had this feeling that it was just like, I want the full experience that I grew up listening to, like Pink Floyd and all mum and dad's music, going over in the car journeys over to like Wales and Led Zeppelin and Free and all these like musicians, and I started listening to like Linkin Park and Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar, and they're just everything. They're just everything. They don't close themselves down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't present themselves as something.
You know, yes, I know exactly what you mean. I don't listen a lot to like Kendrick Lamar, but just to use him as an example, I saw him at Glastonbury. And I'm watching the set and I'm like, I don't really know what this is.
Yeah.
Or whether I like it. But I've never seen anything like it.
100%.
And this guy looks free. He's just doing it. It's almost like, I couldn't care less whether there's anyone in the audience or not. I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And do you know what I've done with my talks and stuff? I went on some speaking courses, and, you know, one of the things I say, it's all about your audience, you know? It's all about your audience and get them interacting. And I'm always a bit like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it is. And then I seen this Rick Rubin clip on Instagram the other day. It was obviously, you know, the producer of all the best musicians you can think of. He's produced most of their albums.
Is he the guy with like the baseball cap and
he's got like
hair and
long shabby hair, a big bald patch.
It's probably not what you expect.
No, which is probably why he says he's a conduit of it. Do you know what I mean? He's just like fucking.
Why it works,
he's just a conduit, probably.
Yeah.
And he said, look, you know, anytime you sit down to create for someone else, it's not art, it's commercialism. Anytime you sit down to create for yourself, like it's writing in a diary, that's when it's art. You're doing it for you.
Yeah.
You know? So when I do my talks, I'm prepared to go to the depths because it's for me, but also I feel like we all need to hear the experience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. It almost feels like the difference between being stood at the front of the room and reaching out to bring the audience into you, or you do your thing and the audience just come in. You're not reaching out and trying to grab.
It's like what you said before about the approach and the return that you've had over the last few months.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going out and desperate to win their recognition or to make sure that they're active in their mind, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you start doing what you think they want.
Yeah.
Right? Silly. It's a silly example, but we were talking earlier. It's a bit like, you know, when you're looking for a partner and you go into a bar.
Yeah.
And like any hint of desperation.
Yeah.
And everyone's repelled out of
Don't work, mate. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. No, thanks. I don't want to drink.
Yeah.
But you're there cool as if you don't care. You do, but as if you don't. And suddenly, people are coming to you.
It's like
a weird thing.
It's you're either closed in pursuit or you're open to the possibility. Do you know what I mean? It's
I
like,
like that. Yeah,
yeah, really. It's
right,
like you
quote
just
that.
Yeah, oh, it's good on that.
Stevie Ward, 2024.
Yeah, but it is, and people react to it, and we're human beings at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, people come and do work with you because they've probably sensed like, oh, you know, this guy's open to possibilities, like, and you know how I felt coming in, and like you react through all these things that we can't write down in the academic.
Yes.
The sort of processes that, like, you just go off. Yeah, instinct, really.
It reminds me, a couple of weeks ago, I had a conversation with Jack Law, the Olympic diver, ultra successful. Anyway, we had a conversation about his diving. He had a particular dive which, from childhood, was his go-to dive. Like, always nails it. You know, you have this favourite one where you're like, I always nail that. It's perfect.
Class.
Anyway, long story short, he stopped nailing it one time. And one of the reasons why he eventually found out, but after a long period of time and a lot of mental health strife and difficulty, was he started to adjust his technique slightly, and diving's very technical, so it's only little incremental changes towards what the textbook said he should do. Yeah. And over time, some of that helped him, but it got over a threshold where he was following the textbook to the point where it lost, where he said he stood on the board and he thought, I don't know how I'm going to do this dive.
Fucking hell.
Like, I've forgotten how to do this dive. It'd almost be like me getting on the board and trying to do that dive. You know, like, I don't know how to do it anymore. Whereas it used to be the dive. Because he'd adjusted a part of his technique because the textbook said that he should. And in the end, he realised, had an epiphany, why don't I just go back to doing it how I used to do it? Yeah. Like, forget what the textbook said and just go back to when I just rocked up to pool and jumped in like a madman. Yeah. And he did, and lo and behold, you know, it starts to build back. But yeah, it takes a bit to get there, I think. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone deep here. Yeah, we have gone very deep, but I want to stay deep if I may.
Scuba diving.
Yeah, we are. We're not talking about the weather and traffic here.
Well, just piss me off.
Carl Jung.
Oh yeah, Youngie.
Yeah, old Youngie.
Loves a drink, doesn't he?
Carl Jung talks about the darkness, the shadow side of us, our inner demons. Do you relate to that in any way over your career? I'm not talking about your trips to Thailand.
Yeah.
But you know that we might have covered it a little bit. We're maybe covering ground we've already covered, but your inner demons, the dark side of yourself. I mean, in a game like rugby, which is ultra physical, you talked earlier a while back about running to the line. To play that game in the way you played it in particular, there's got to be some shadow side there. Like, it's a tough game. It's dark at times.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
I'd have thought so. Is it not?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I've wanted to hear from people doing it, other people doing it, you know, like, how do you feel, you know? And when you have those conversations, they're amazing because you realise that actually, a lot of people have got a lot of stuff going on. I speak so openly and I can't not do it, really. I feel like I have to do it. Or I feel good from doing it. Do you know what I mean? I just...
Well, it's truth.
Yeah.
Like you said before, which is liberating.
Yeah, it's liberating.
The truth will free us.
Yeah. What is it? The truth will set you free, but at first it'll piss you off. That's the quote, yeah. Fucking still pissing me off.
Yeah. I had one, a great one, you know. I subscribe to this app called We Croak.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is...
It's like a memento mori type.
It's
thing,
like a death app. It's weird. I'm weird for having it, but I get a text 5 times a day which says you are going to die. Full stop.
Love that.
5 times every day, and then
I love that.
there's not many people that do.
No.
Thanks. And alongside that, you get a quote. But these, honestly, Stevie, these quotes are so good.
Are they?
Oh, it's like that one you just told me,
Yeah.
which I need to write down.
Yeah.
But so you get a text saying you're going to die, and then you get a quote after it 5 times every day. And I've probably got that for 2 years,
Yeah.
3 years, 4 years, whatever. How
Is
long
it free?
No, you pay £2 a month. I feel like, is it a good
£2 a day.
investment? I don't know.
I'd go 2K. Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah.
Where were I going? Anyway, there was a quote I saw on there about how the truth is often extremely inconvenient. You know, or it might have been the warrior's journey is often extremely inconvenient. And sometimes the quotes repeat, but I must have screenshotted that quote 4 or 5 times. I've got it in my, photo reel.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good, is that? Like, just to your point, it is, you have those moments where you have an epiphany and the truth comes to you.
Yeah.
Whether it's late at night, middle of the night, or whatever, doing something else. And it hits you and you think, you're almost like, I know that's real and I know what I have to do now, but it's not going to be easy. I kind of wish I hadn't have had that epiphany, but now it's here. I'm sort of duty bound to follow it.
Yeah.
So otherwise my life's inauthentic.
Yeah.
But when it hits, you're like, oh, I can't believe I have to actually do that now.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Fucking makes sense, mate. Yeah. It's a good little reminder that I might download that.
I don't know how many subscribers it's got.
Maybe just suspend it to after my morning coffee. Do you know what I mean? Just feel, it's all good. This should be a good, highly subscribed application.
I think so,
but yeah, the old youngie.
Yeah, so tell me about that darkness, shadow. Like, to be a top player like you were, surely you've got to be selfish, like ruthless. You've got to have it somewhere inside you, Stevie. I'd have thought like this bit, and I'm not just talking about professional sport. I'm, I don't know, am I holding the mirror up slightly here? But, whether you're in running a business, professional sport, top of some game, whatever that might be in a particular field, this element of there's somewhere inside you that's like, I don't give one. Like, I'm getting there. I'm doing it. You talked a little bit earlier, didn't you, about give me that ball?
Yeah. Oh, I've got a visceral feeling of that, mate. When I say those words, and the intent and uncompromising nature of me that comes through that, and that came through in the games. Yeah. Like
no holds barred.
I'd be doing stuff that people won't dare to do, and there's got to be something that's pushing you there. So yeah, man, I think there's probably darkness in most of us, and we were talking about how it gets represented in life. I spoke a bit about music. All the best films that we watch, you think of Star Wars, you think of Harry Potter, you think about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
they're all coming into to touching distance of their darkness and how they respond to it.
Yeah, you're right.
Aren't they? All
There's
of
something
them.
very compelling about Sauron and Voldemort.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, it'd be easy to be him. If you just give yourself over to that, you could just easily just like live through that life.
Yeah.
And
which is a bit scary.
It's
to see it in yourself, is it? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it just is. I think it just has to be, in terms of, if we're going deep, in terms of how we live through paradox every day, how we have to be okay with uncertainty, even though it's against our nature to even go anywhere near it. We have to understand it. We have to be okay. We have to accept it, because it'll I was thinking about Voldemort. It took over him. Yeah. And Harry Potter is literally within the series of the films, questioning it, going, I feel a bit like this sometimes. I feel a bit like, is it in me that
Yeah.
And
yeah, good point. I forget that thread of the story.
yeah, yeah. But
the Horcrux.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the darkness inside him, hasn't he?
And every hero's journey, if you know the hero's journey, the sort of the story that we all come back to as human beings is going through the Shire, if you like, the everything's okay, everything's good here, safe here, I know what's going on, everything's predictable. And then you venture towards a challenge, and there was usually a refusal of the call. There's a refusal of, I'm all right, I don't want to go into that, I'm all right in the Shire, do you know?
Yeah.
But then eventually there's another moment where you have to take the call, and then you go into the hero's journey, which is forecasted as seeing some of the biggest challenges, meeting some of the different people in life that are shapeshifters, that appear good, appear bad, but you can't quite work them out. And then you carry on down the journey and you get hit with the biggest challenge ever. You go into the abyss. You don't know what to do. You don't know if you're ever going to survive. You don't know if you get out of it. And then you come through the other side of it. You learn the lessons. You get the elixir, and you take that back to the people that you've been with, that you've shared your life with, and you return home. And that's the hero's journey.
I've never heard that before.
Have you not?
No, but I'm on edge.
No. Well, that's why we are when we watch Harry Potter. They all have this strategy. They all have this, if you're talking about strategy, they all have this narrative that is tried and tested throughout our whole life. And people have watched it. People have lived it. People have played different parts in it. The whole world is a stage, as Shakespeare would say, and ultimately you have to choose which part you play, or when you take your own hero's journey up.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so darkness is well and truly in the hero's journey, and I think it's within everyone's journey, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on a lighter note, it's almost the really nice ones you worry about.
Yeah, yeah.
They sometimes meet those people, don't you, that seem extraordinarily nice.
Yeah.
You think,
yeah.
I'd be a bit concerned.
What's going on?
You?
What's going on with him? Yeah. What's going? And I respect people for just being open, speaking open, because I know where I am then. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember what I want to go on to something then, but it's gone.
It's that hero's journey. It's big.
Yeah.
It's like, where do you go from there? Very big. I almost feel like we ought to apologise to the listeners, because I feel like we're a kindred spirit and we've gone very deep. I feel like the listeners need to go and lay down in a dark room just to recover from this conversation.
Yeah, man. It's real. It's real. But
can we go light? Right, let's go light. I'm not talking weather and traffic, but if we go a little bit light, Boy George wrote a song called Humanised in 2021, and you're mentioned in it. Is that right?
That's the dark in there, isn't it? Yeah, he is. I'm mentioned in it. Yeah,
it's a bit cool, that.
It's fucking random, isn't it?
Surreal, yeah.
Surreal. Like, what the hell is going on? But
how do you end up in a Boy George song?
I remember it. It was 2016. It was Christmas morning, and I woke up to the team WhatsApp group. And I remember, you see the WhatsApp messages piling up. You're like, why is it so busy here? And there was a message, and there was like, what the hell's going on? What the fuck? And I scrolled up, and it was a picture of me, a screenshot of me on Boy George's Twitter with a poem or some lyrics. I was just thinking, what has gone on here? Do you know what I mean? Like, what has just happened here? So I go on and look on Twitter and that, and I can follow him or whatever, and slide into his DMs. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm going to slide into his DMs. And, open to possibility, as you would say. Not closed to...
Yeah, see where it goes.
Not closed to a pursuit, but open to possibility. And, there's only so far I'd go with that, but, there's only so far I'd go with that. But,
yeah.
yeah, just fucking messaged him, and he started talking to me about Mantality and seeing all the stuff that I was doing and what I was talking about, and yeah, just like messaged him, spoke to him about his life, because fucking hell, like,
Yeah.
he's an interesting life, you know,
Yeah.
and what he did, like, talk about authenticity, mate, and drive
Being yourself.
and being yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking
Wow.
hell.
Yeah.
And he just went and did it. So I was like, who is this guy? And, you know, I was down in London one time and met him, and yeah, just a few times out in Australia, seen him live. Got my family to see him in Leeds and
Wow.
that. And just like, yeah, just,
What's the reference in the song?
yeah, this is the fireworks in Stevie's head, it says.
Is it?
Yeah, so obviously it was in and around my brain injury and stuff.
Right.
So he's writing a song, and it's
Yeah.
obviously just come to him. And, you know, I asked him, like, how do you think of that? He's just like, it just came to me, and I just did it. It's like, all right, fair play.
Yeah. Why not?
Well,
Yeah.
why not? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he
I
just,
think that's a great story.
it's a good story,
It
isn't
is
it?
very good.
I was trying to think, how do I put that in my talks? You're trying to shoe on something cool, and do you know what I mean? It's like not relevant.
Yeah.
So
You get any performance tips off him?
I have actually, yeah, a few times. He's not made me wear a hat yet. He did say that as a joke. I should wear a hat, but I'm not gonna wear a hat. But yeah, just good chat with him, and it's similar conversations that I have with him.
Yeah.
He's dead into like spirituality and the 3 principles. I don't know if you've heard of that, but you should have a look at that 3 principles. And yeah, we have some great conversations, mate, and some laughs, and it's very obviously it's quite an absurd relationship, isn't it? Really, a friendship. But I'm like, I want to learn from him.
Yeah, you know
Do
what?
I mean?
I know what you mean. You wouldn't automatically put it together.
No, you won't.
but why the hell not?
No, why
Yeah,
not?
Exactly.
Why not?
Exactly. I feel like you and I could sit here and chat probably for many more hours,
Yeah.
but respecting your time, couple of last questions for you because I'm really interested in these. Iceman Hoff,
Yeah,
that guy, I love that guy.
mad dog, innit?
Absolutely mad.
Oh, mate.
So you've met him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a few times, couple of times. Met him originally in Burnley, of all places.
Wow.
At their football club. It was like this function that Wim Hof was putting on, and there was a load of physios and stuff going over. It was like this big seminar, and I thought, I want to go over. I'd just been doing some of his breathing.
For anyone who
So-
doesn't know, we should say Wim Hof. You need to have a look at Wim Hof.
Yeah, 100%.
He's like they call him the Iceman.
Yeah,
don't
the
they?
Iceman. He's the superstar of cold
Cold water
Water
sort of therapy
exposure,
and exposure.
breath work,
Yeah,
and just like the real flag bearer for it, you know.
yeah. Do you do it? Do you go into ice bath each morning?
Not every morning. Cold showers a lot. I sort of work out, you know, what do I need here? You know, do I just keep running through the line every day? Or do I work out if I need hot? Sometimes I work out if I need slow breathing. You know, I'm sort of in that phase.
Got you. So you're not going to do it just military?
No, not
yeah.
at the minute. And especially because I have migraine, mate. So sometimes if I do it too much, it blows my migraine up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I'd met him and gone through the breathing stuff, spoke to him. He came on my podcast, Mantality podcast, ages
Brilliant.
ago, mate. It was like the 3rd podcast I'd done.
Wow.
And I was telling him, oh, look, mate, I do it sometimes before I'm playing. This is back in 2017. I do it sometimes, you know. Anyway, he's doing a talk in front of like 500 people. And he's trying to prove a point. He's like, the rugby player, where's the rugby player? I'm like, fuck's sake. So he's getting me up to stand up and tell him what you told me. Tell him what you told me. I'm like, oh, fucking hell. Doing a talk for him already.
Wow. What an experience, though.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Legend.
You know what, Stevie? Just bigger picture. Doing my research for this podcast, and I'm not on Instagram, but my wife is.
Yeah.
So she's doing my research for me. Oh, look, Stevie's done this. Stevie's done this.
Good on her.
And doing my, and it's been a theme throughout our conversation. You seem you're in a period now after your professional rugby league career. You know, you've got Mantality, doing your speaking. Let's give it a go. you know, you like look busy. You're meeting people.
Yeah.
Traveling. You're doing things. You're talking.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
throwing yourself into life.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I mean, some people are scared to death, but some people are scared to live, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you've come out with some big ones today.
I just
Yeah,
came.
that's your third one, I think.
They are. But I mean, listen, we're not spoke about the injury and stuff, but I have headache every day, me. And I have dizziness and stuff. And I try not to let that be a story because I don't want it to be something where it just keeps, but it's the reality. Do you know what I mean?
Not to define you too much, or Stevie be the person that's the concussion guy.
Exactly. And you know, but I just have to live with the reality of it, and and just do the things that I love, and there's this purpose, mate, that I've got that if I don't do it, fucking hell, it's just depression. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what it is, and suffering. And I can be sat here with a migraine and headache now, talking about this stuff, but at least I feel fucking connected and like I'm of worth somehow, and like the uncertainty is quite appealing. Do you know what I mean? Instead of it being the other way.
Yeah.
Instead of it being the uncertainty is terrifying, and I almost try and make it certain because it's that scary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no,
Wow.
I just go out and try, and you know, I am learning to be kinder to myself. That's an ongoing
the trick,
journey.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That is the trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are hard to ourselves.
Yeah, 100% hardwired just to. And I, you know, I was conditioned, mate, just conditioned through that career to block everything out and just not listen to myself. Do you know what I mean? Not listen to myself. And it's about listening to myself again a little bit now, you know, like trying to find that instinct again, and yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Stevie. I almost don't know how to sum it up because I'm knackered if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm fucked. You lie down.
But you know what? I've really, really enjoyed it. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being so open and honest and genuine. It feels a bit surreal, really. I mean, you're because you're a ex-Leeds Rhinos rugby league captain. And I said
I was only captain for, you know, not ages anyway.
Yeah, but you know, professional rugby league player. And I said before to my brother who's producing this podcast, you know, I'm nervous.
Really?
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm always nervous if I'm being honest. I'm always nervous. But I was nervous because, you know, we'd not met, and you know, I love sport, professional sports person that you are, but. Yeah, it's been brilliant. Yeah. I've really enjoyed the conversation. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I've learnt a lot. And three big-time quotes as well. You've just come out with.
Yeah, I need to find them.
Bat. We'll put those in the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. And I'll send you a wee croak as well.
Send me that. Oh, my God, send me that.
There's only 2 subscribers now, me and you. But anyway.
They're all dead, rest of them.
I'm not sure the guys who have made the app are making a fortune. I don't know how big the market is, but I'm there.
There's definitely a market, though.
They could increase my premium and I'd still pay. I don't know why. It's weird. Text me saying I'm going to die, but I'm there for it. But thanks, Stevie. I really appreciate your time. It's been brilliant.
No, man, love it. Thanks for having me. It's been ace. And yeah, man, I've learned a lot just sharing the conversation from you, from doing what you're doing, how you've invited me in, and the way that you're doing things, mate, is good. I don't need to say much more than that. It's good. It's like the way that I'd like to see things being done, you know.
Thanks, Stevie.
So just
a lot of love.
Yeah, man, a lot of love. Thank you for
Let's
doing what
go.
you're doing.
Hero's
Thank you.
journey.
Yeah, you're on it, brother.
I'm going out of here pumped.
You're on it. You're like, where's the dragon to slay?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't just want one.
No, man, I know. Fuck, just one at a time, though.
Yeah, exactly.
One at a time.
Thanks, Stevie.
Legend.
Spot on.
Cheers, brother.